the Investigator TV. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this exclusive sports edition of the Investigator Sports. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, in every part of the globe, depending on your time zone. With me is a gentleman, businessman, former boxer, a promoter, an investor, and is here to tell us, to define what boxing is, what entails to be a boxer, what it entails to be a boxing manager, a boxing promoter, and anything that we will know about boxing. I will let you, sir, introduce yourself.
My name's, as usual, Brian Kasoma. Best living overseas. I couldn't mention one country because I'm over most of the countries.
Yeah.
As people will know, like people in Japan, they will get to know people in the UK, Canada, and other countries as well. As a promoter, you can't be being in one place, so you're over the world.
Okay.
Because we keep on contacting each other, travel to different countries. So, yeah, that's why I am. As he said, I'm an investor, a farmer as well, as, yeah, other businesses.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much for hosting me.
My name, your host, I'm Daniel Znabongtatia. Tonight, thank you. Mr. Brian,
Sure.
it's really indeed, I'll start on this note, that it's really indeed saddening that the sport of boxing,
Sure.
alongside, I think, athletics, used to be the gold mine of Uganda in the 70s, and that is a fact that you cannot contest.
Yeah, because that's where
Most of the famous golds that we had here before were from boxing and athletics.
Athletics, very true.
Yes, but I think we will stick ourselves to, though we will also draw examples from other sports, but we'll stick ourselves to boxing as a sport.
Sure.
Yes. I know you were a promoter.
Yeah, very well so, yeah.
You were a manager.
Yeah.
Like a businessman.
Sure.
What it is being a boxer?
Being a boxer, it takes quite a lot of energy. It takes patience.
Okay.
It takes having a good team, because without a good team, you can't really work things out.
Okay.
And there are quite a lot of things needed to be able to make it up into boxing, because it's not a walk of roses. It's a very, very hard thing. Because being a boxer, you have a lot of things, because it's not a day-to-day, daily bread. That when you go out for your training, that's money made.
No.
When you go out training, you're gonna need to see how you facilitate yourself. And yet, you can't do it on training. You can't do it on training. I see our boxers here in Uganda struggling a lot. Some of them are even caught up on being on drugs. They're addicted on drugs because they are frustrated. Because they don't have anyone to help them out, to fall back to show them the direction of what, of where to go. So you're gonna end up finding a good boxer, but where he needs counseling here. The first thing to do with any boxer in Uganda is counseling. You have to counsel them. You have to give them comfort. It's really sad you've just informed me about Uganda not qualifying for the Commonwealth.
Yes. For the Olympics.
For the Olympics.
Yeah.
Which is really saddening.
The boxing charter.
Which is really saddening. Because how can we fail, yet this is what sold Uganda? So we go back to the times, like if we get to know the people that did that was John Beast Mugabe.
Yes.
Who was globally known, the Beast, John Beast Mugabe.
Actually, is a role model to, I think, many of the young and budding boxers.
Yeah, then we went to John Akibwa in athletics.
Athletics.
So these are the major two sports that put Uganda up on a global map.
Sure.
Now then we had that next trip, which was Nyakana, Godfrey Nyakana, who is my personal friend, as Justin Juko as well, who did very well as well, because they got us some medals as well, and they held our flag high too. So when those people were put out of sports, when they retired, because they call that retirement, because boxing is not something you're gonna live on for the longest.
Sure.
So you got a certain time you have to stop because your body slows down.
Sure.
So when you're between 30 and 35 as a boxer, your body slows.
Being exhausted.
Exactly. So you can't do much. But then we appreciate that these two boxers we have, like Godfrey Nyakana and
Justin Juko.
Justin Juko, they offered themselves to come back into the boxing community in Uganda to help the other youngsters, athletes. But they were not given that chance. Because somebody who has never been on an international scene, you can't do much for your country. Because even the promoters, the so-called promoters, for me they're not promoters, because they are in need than even the
athletes
actual
themselves,
athletes
the boxers.
Actually, they are worse than the athletes.
Boxers, the people that they claim to promote. Yeah.
So whom are you going to promote? Who needs the other?
It's now the promoter needing the boxer.
Thank you so very much.
Yet it should be the other way around.
They have nothing to offer
to the boxers.
The boxers. So it's really sad that people who come in the country and they are willing to help the country, for example, like if these other boxers had to be helping other, like to help themselves, they could have voted these people who have tested it, who have the contacts and the connections.
Yes, today boxing is not doing better like it used to do.
Sure.
What do you think could be the problem? Could it be the leadership, the management, the promoters? Yeah. Is it government?
Straight away, I couldn't say it's a government. The government has a ministry which takes this on. And they provide funds. They have funds. But the problem is the leaders of the sport itself, which is the boxing body. Because it's toxic. You get somebody who has no knowledge of how they can help these other youngsters. Themselves, as the called as presidents of that body, they need counseling as well as their athletes, the boxers. And yet, that means when they need that money, they are going to go in there to get that money. Instead of putting it in the right place, they're going to just use it to themselves because they need it more than...
They also need it.
They need it. So I could have suggested the boxers as well to know what they are voting for. You have to vote somebody with experience. So if you had voted in Nyakana, even if Nyakana is on ground here in Uganda, he could give me a call because I'm an international promoter. I've got my license to promote boxing, but now I kept it in the suitcase. I don't need to use it anymore because I wanted to help Uganda as Uganda. I've got international belts, just kept in my house. So which means that's all my money wasted, time wasted, brains put around, knowledge wasted, is because I'm dealing with a person here who does not understand nothing about boxing, who tend to understand but does not understand.
But does not understand. I think in March 2016, was it 2016? You launched something that could have held water for the sport, the boxing sport down here in Uganda. That was marrying
boxing with hip-hop.
Boxing and hip hop.
Yeah, sure. Yes. I did that. Yeah.
How has the project fared?
I'm this kind of person who is skilled in different fields. And if I see that the people I'm trying to help
do not want help,
I don't jump in. I just withdraw. Because I'm not going to fight to earn a shilling as they are fighting, yet I can earn foreign money, and which I'm good at doing. So I gave up for that because I'd signed boxers who were good, whom I'd spotted out. The boxers, we are 5 of them. One was Mude Ntambi, Joseph Mwesigwa. I think, actually, Banabana, is it Banabana?
Banabana.
I'm forgetting names now because Banabana had retired into boxing by the time I came in. So I got Banabana back into boxing.
You saw the ability in him to
yes, I
still
saw
box?
Because he was so hungry and he still wanted it. So I gave him that chance. But then these greedy, toxic people, they jumped in and they tried to suffocate me. So all I said, I'm not here to fight. So I gave up. But even when I passed them, I'm doing better than them themselves who were fighting for these boxers. And I don't regret because they helped my time. Because they could have wasted too much of my time helping these boxers, yet even themselves need help. Because even giving me the license over here in Uganda, because you have to have a license. I paid for the licenses and everything, for the venues to meet up people and all that kind of stuff, but they were still suffocating you.
With that project, what was your dream?
My dream was to help the young talented boxers get off all the bad doings to the good doings and to earn money from their talents. Because why? People in Europe, people in America, they are all earning on their talents. And what they have achieved into their talents, now they help their communities. The communities are even giving back because if someone has come with a project here as an international fighter and who is on the international platform, they're going to earn good money. Because in Uganda, I think it's to do with Kasoma, who had earned $1 million. But where did he put it? He didn't think about home. But then if he had put it home, he could have helped other boxers. That's why I refer Nyakana to be the best person candidate. People might simply say, oh, you're campaigning for Nyakana. I'm not.
But just giving reference to who suits to be in the office.
Because Nyakana had even got his own personal money. Is it Centenary Park there? He put a gym. So if you are part of Nyakana's team, which means Nyakana could have given you facilitation of your good training, maybe he could have given you accommodation, he could have counseled you, because he could see, he has a vision, and he could see talent in you, and then even he can connect you to the first world.
Oftentimes you're talking about counseling, helping out, but then there is this thing about the vice of drugs, especially in the sport of boxing.
Because people are frustrated.
Boys are doing in Jagal, they are doing before they climb up the ring.
They are frustrated. If you don't have a direction, someone has to help you to put you into that direction. So that comes under counseling. Because someone has to talk to you. Someone has to put you there, in a direct sense of understanding.
Yes.
So if you lose that, that means you'll be all over the place. Mostly, even companies here in Uganda, I blame them. I can't blame the government. Because the government has given you a chance to hold their flag. Which means they've accepted you. They've done their part.
Yes.
So these companies now, why do you want a finished product? A shining product. Yet we've come and told you that this guy has a talent into this. So you want to welcome them back with a gold or maybe bronze,
we've
silver.
Seen many politicians jumping onto that.
So, but what was your contribution before that person obtained that? So if I was one of them, I could have told them, once the government receives you, put the rest in your pocket and just go to your home. Plus the prize money the government has given you, try to plan right with that money. Don't accept these companies to come and jump on board, yet even they couldn't give you a bottle of water.
While preparing for
for yourself. They couldn't give you a pint of milk. What does it take from their company? Like they're telling you they have got promotions. We are promoting our milk. We are protecting our water. We are protecting our foods.
Our energy drinks.
Our energy drinks. Then promote them with these sports, athletes. Even when they win, you're proud because you are part of them. But you put people in their offices who don't like sport, who can't even think that's an event, that which can even put their companies up. But then when these people win, they're the first people to come. They on their status says they are putting, okay, pro teachers won a gold, this and that. Everyone goes bust. But in the beginning, they do not do that. Why do you want a finished product? Because if I've spotted a talent and I come to you, I'm begging all companies to jump on board and help up these talented athletes. The only thing is they don't have the capacity. They need food. They need to have good accommodation. That all comes into preparation. They have to have a clean, clear mind.
Yes.
To go into that fight and to enable to do that.
Do we even have people that are capable enough to tell these boxers that this is how you must eat, this is how you must, sleep, if you must achieve success somewhere?
It's because the people who tending to be promoters or managers don't even have the capacity or access to speak to the branding, marketing, promotion managers of companies to convince them that when we do this with these people, this is what you can achieve. It's give and take. When you bring an athlete that who is promising and sell that athlete to the company, and the company jumps on board, make sure that company is involved with the athlete on a day-to-day basis. Sit down and counsel. That's what I talk about, counseling. Talk to this, by talking to him, you're counseling. If you behave better, have you seen so and so? You give examples. Then you will be like that person. Get off drugs. They aren't helping you. But they train because they have a passion, but because they are frustrated, then they won't be able to produce.
Today, as we talk, boxing has been banned in schools. And that's a fact. In 2022, the then Minister, Hamson Oboa, suspended boxing in schools. What's your take on the same?
But, is when you put, I don't know about his background, because, and you didn't give me a chance, or you didn't give me his background, where he studied, how he came to be that person, because they are forgetting. Why do you kill a sport which can help even international schools? You see schools having football pitches, they have basketballs, they have everything. Boxing gyms, they have everything. You see what I mean? And this is a third world, which might not be having all these facilities, but if someone gets a chance, because the boxers which have held Uganda on the high, they all came from schools. Kako, that is Justin Joko, Nyakana, Kololo High School. So what are you talking about when the people that held Uganda on the high before we knowing you as a minister? We are from schools. Inter-school competitions. People could go from here, they go to Namiriango. They fight. They could come, Kolo SS is versing Chitante. People come in, and then that's how you get the talents. Which means that minister who did that killed the talents. And he doesn't deserve to be in that seat. Because for us, we feel, Ugandans feel so proud when we see our flag raised up and the national anthem being sung. We all go crazy. You see what I mean? But then a minister, I don't know, is he a state minister or
he was a state minister?
So where is he now?
He's in a different office. That is, I think.
But is he proud of himself?
I think he could be
proud of himself that he
that he suspended boxing.
He suspended boxing from schools.
From school. Yet, so from what we used to see, sports is nurtured down in schools.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But then the minister comes up and says, we do not know. There was no explanation that he gave until today. We are only waiting on the Minister of Sports and Education to come good on that, but they are still silent on the same.
But the same thing, for me, I would like to know what is that minister's background? Because what was he scared of?
That it wasn't safe, maybe risky for
But does he know that sports creates the most disciplined people on planet Earth and the military? So why is it now, if it wasn't safe, but I'm seeing the Uganda police, the Uganda UPDF, they are the people handling these people. But these are institutes whereby they teach discipline. And sports is part of that teach discipline. Because these boys are frustrated and no one is counseling them. So they come from ghettos. Because a person from ghetto can be a ghetto person because the situation forced him to be ghetto. Right? But again, he could be a good person because he's been talked to.
Yeah.
So is he trying to tell me when he stopped boxing, other sports are doing so well? Or you have to know someone's background, the upbringing, and where they are at that moment and what has caused them. That's when you're talking to a person, you get to know what has caused that person to be taking that drug. Because even if I take those people taking weed, if you are scared of taking weed, they are not the people even who are doing boxing. Anyone. Students are taking drugs. Why doesn't he fight drugs? He could have fought drugs than stopping people from boxing. Because I know boxing is still good. Someone physique, the mental state, but they just need a sense of direction.
From the managers and...
Yeah, but even someone can call himself a manager when he's not a manager. These things being managing somebody, these are things you go and get short courses and study. If you ask how many managers have gone to school, the best promoter maybe I saw here, I think he's a politician right now. He's Balam, what is his name? Balam, whatever. Yeah, he's a studied guy. He's a learned guy. And he knows what he's doing. So if he could have marketed somebody, then I know, I used to see them with green passes, things coming out. Well, making money and all that kind of stuff. But then, these boys are frustrated. It's because of having no person to talk to them.
Okay. As a well-traveled gentleman, like in your introduction said you... how do you compare Ugandan boxing to the rest of the world?
Uganda has no boxing. And then you've just even confirmed the minister killed it. So what can I say? You see those guys over there, they are doing well. And you have to know this is another business. Boxing is another business as well, whereby you're paid according to your performance. You know what I mean? So if you're lucky enough and you've gotten good fights or getting the title shots, fights, then you're going to make it. But how many Ugandans do we have that can make it right now?
We have talents here like Musaboji. We had Golola.
But Golola does not. Golola is just doing his thing as he's got the power and all that. But I can't categorize Golola. Actually, he could have gone in MMA. Mixed martial arts. Golola could go into there.
Okay.
But not as a boxer.
Okay. Talking about Boji, we had Lusambia.
Those were,
you know, they are good boxers, but
Lusambia,
we see them not doing better than they would have, you know?
Yes, because the people that tend to be helping them, they also need help. As I've said from the beginning, an athlete needs support and help, but same as the so-called promoter of his or manager. Because someone will call you, are you Golola's manager? Sorry, are you Boji's manager? Yes, I'm the manager. Can you come in my office? Why do you call me in your office? If I'm the manager, you come to my office. Principles. Then they're going to value your fighter. And how often, and basically, if the manager is there as well, he needs help. He doesn't have, finances. He's economically poor. So how can you manage a fighter?
So you may not be able to negotiate deals that are
No,
worse.
you won't. So if I'm your manager, do you think you're gonna? Let me say I'm Boji's manager. Do you think you're just gonna call me, that come to my office and sit down and negotiate deals with him? Who, you? And how much are you gonna be giving me to get me off there? I could get him an international fight. I'm thinking international. You're thinking local.
Well, talk about building a boxing brand. I am a boxer. You are the promoter, you are the manager. How do I get to the top?
First of all, the person who is going to help you has to be economically or financially stable, because it all involves money. Look, you can't tell me you want to get a good fighter, an international fighter, without paying him money for the flight, for the hotel. You see what I mean? And his team. So which means it needs what? Finances. So do you have those finances? So first of all, to make a good boxer, you have to have a manager who is financially stable, who is willing to go a mile, that even can facilitate you as the boxer on your day-to-day needs. Because a good boxer will train for 3 months preparing for a fight. And a boxer will rest for 3 months after a knockout. You have
That is if it happened.
That's if it happened. You have to rest for 3 good months. So the boxer has to be eating well, he sleeps well, he has to relax his body, his state of mind has to be clear of any problems or any issues. He has to eat like vitamins, get the sun in the morning. He has to have these proteins and balance up each and his diet and all that. And he has to keep away from women as well, because these are all things that affect a boxer. So to make a good boxer, you have to get a good manager. You have to get somebody who is financially stable. You have to get somebody who will understand you, your background. Because a lot of people have backgrounds. You can be talking to somebody who is so hungry because of what happened when he was growing, child abuse, child neglect. All these things add up to his mind and sense of understanding. So you have Ugandan boxers need counseling at all times. At all times. For me, you can even, I've got the reference, you can ask Mude Ntambi. Because he was doing very well, and Mude Ntambi, I know he's well stable and very understanding. His brother, Chitoke and Martin, these are all my groups. We all know each other into the boxing world. So all these boxers are doing so well from their family, and they are always willing to listen. The last fight I saw Chitoke fighting, he fought in Uganda when I was in Uganda, actually. It was at Sheraton Hotel. That time, that's before I launched, 2016. Then I saw this Tanzanian coming in. For me, I don't take sides as a sports person and who has passion for sports. I talked to the Tanzanian, I talked to
the
Ugandan as well. I realized the person who was in Chitoke's corner was not studying the opponent. So if at all they do have the video, you'll see me talking to Chitoke, informing him, Chitoke, I've studied this guy. Don't think about points. Think about a knockout. And the knockout, you have to hit his belly, because his belly is weak. He concentrated hitting on the belly. The guy gave up. He gave up. But these boxers, all people you see here, they are not technical or whatever. They are just people just to make quick money, to survive, just for survival. They do it for survival, most of them. I haven't seen any promising promoter in Uganda. I don't see him. I don't see him. I'm sorry to say this to them. They know me very well. I don't take back my words, but they are not promoters. They are just, how you call them? Survivors.
Survivors.
They're just survivors. They're looking for something to survive on.
Oh, well, just recently, we saw a team from the Uganda Olympic Committee.
Okay.
You know, they usurped the powers of the Uganda Boxing Federation, and there was a squabble between UBF and UOC. The point was Uganda Boxing Federation and the Uganda Olympic Committee. The point was these guys from the Olympics office wanted the team to fly out to the country and play the qualifiers for the Paris 2024.
Yes, right.
On the team, they included one of the boxers who had actually graduated to professional, and that is Musa Boji. Was that really okay?
It's not professional, and actually they could disqualify the team. They'll disqualify the team. So you are shaming the country. You are shaming the country. When somebody leaves the amateurs and gets his license to be a professional boxer, he can never step back to be an amateur. It's not acceptable. And that's what I'm telling you. These people are not professional boxers. These are the people into the wrong business. That's why they're shaming us. Now they are shaming us, people who understand. We can help the country. We don't need their funds. Because we can talk to corporate companies. Corporate companies can be able and willing, with our understanding and marketing promotion skills, talk to them and they can fund and help up these, these other competitions that they put around.